got all of our audios, or all of our, it went away. That's weird.
Now my mom is calling. Hold on, I'm going to take this.
Yeah, go ahead, take it. Let's put it on the show. That's hysterical.
Hello?
Hi, Dan. It's Mom.
Hi, Mom.
How are you?
What's up? Well, I'll tell you that.
What?
I'm doing the podcast. You called right in the middle of the podcast. So you're on the air, Mom. So say hello to a couple.
Okay.
Say hello to a couple thousand Trekkies.
Hello, couple thousand Trekkies. What time should I call back? We want to visit.
Call me around 12.
All right, we'll do that.
All right, love you.
Have a great podcast. Love you too.
All right, bye.
That was brilliant.
Great.
That was awesome.
Phone call completed.
Phone call completed. That's just the best.
Awesome.
Hey, man. When your mom calls, you take it.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Is she going to get you a Capri Sun after the show, or?
What's that?
Are you going to get a Capri Sun after the show, or?
Let me call her. Mom.
I've got your clean underwear over here for you. They're folded and pressed, nice and ready to go, the way you like it. Anyway.
Oh, we lost his audio.
Yeah, he's kind of coming and going.
Yeah.
Am I back?
You're back.
He's back.
Stop moving around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Get the hanger at
Sorry.
noon.
I know. I'm a disruption. I jump out of the car to chase the neighbor's dog. I take phone calls in the middle of the podcast. I'm a
You
mess.
have ADHD, apparently.
Oh, that's what you went did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a neighbor, and they just let their dog run wild. And I have a tree that I'm trying to grow on the corner of my property. And the tree won't grow, and one side of it's brown, and I know this dog is pissing on it when I'm not looking. In the house across the street, they just remodeled the whole house. They just landscaping. The house was like, it was one of those zombie houses for years. No one lived in it for decades. And somebody came in and probably spent about $70,000 rehabbing the house, and it's beautiful now, and it brings the value up for the whole neighborhood.
Right.
And you let your dog run across the street and take a shit right in the middle of the lawn. It's like so disrespectful. I can't stand it.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Bitchcast.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. I'm Chad. That's Dan. That's Daniel. All three of us are here again, unlike last week. But we did fine. It was good. Every once in a while, that's okay. We did get a couple of people saying, hey, whenever you're minus a host, I'm over here, let me on, that kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
So, we still need to get Taryn and Case on here. I mean, we've talked about it for a year. I went back, like I said, when I'm driving around a lot lately, I'm listening to some of our older shows, and the number of times we mentioned having Case and Taryn on is, and then never having them on. I mean, it's like a running meme at this point.
We're terrible.
We're terrible.
Yeah.
It's okay. I've accepted it.
Yeah. We'll get you on, guys. We will. We promise. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm going to put my foot down right now. 2 weeks from today, we'll have one of them on.
All right. Now it's up to them to make it.
All right.
It's up to them to make it. There you go.
It's their fault now.
It's their fault now. There you go. It's their fault now.
Balls in your court, guys. Balls in your court.
And that's perfect because I will not be able to do a podcast next weekend. So we will. So I mean, you guys can do one. That's fine. But I won't be able to do one next weekend. Next weekend is my daughter's graduation party that we're having here at the house on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
I'm gone all week, Monday through Friday in Wisconsin. So when I get home after driving for like 10 hours on Friday, I've got like another 10 hours of chores here to do at the house on that Friday to get ready for the Saturday. So I'll be asleep all day.
So
Sunday.
next week we'll do Bizarro Trekcast. It'll be Taryn, Case, and some other rando.
Yeah.
People will be like, "What is this?"
There you go.
But what will we talk about in Bizarro Trekcast?
Anything you want.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the
Sports.
difference? Yeah, what's the difference?
All
It's
sports.
all the same.
It's all sports.
And the sports will be Parisi's squares, water
There you
polo,
go.
and whatever whatever that fight club thing
Oh,
that Rock
it's just
was
like
on.
baseball.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
Horseback riding.
horseback riding.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yep.
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 Fencing?
Sukatsi.
There you go.
Isn't that the one the Rock was
Yep.
on?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Where's the nerd alert?
Yeah.
I got a couple nerd alerts.
Yeah, I mean,
saved up.
okay. Well, jeez, and of course, as soon as I want, there it is.
Did it crash?
Warning! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
I'm
Fantastic.
so nerdy. I crashed the soundboard.
Yeah, so-
that's what it is.
Well, what's funny about that is one of the episodes that I listened to last week when I was driving was episode number 28.
Oh.
And it was entitled "Do We Know Too Much?" So in that podcast, David and Darren had Dayton Ward on, along with another guy that was on there every once in a while. I forget the guy's name now, Jeremy or something like that. But they were talking about the whole "Do we know too much?" kind of thing. You know, like you can know things like
I think it was Jared.
yeah, that's what
Jared?
it was. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so like the piping, and sometimes you see letters or stenciling on the piping, and it says GNDN, and like what does that stand for? Like you would never know that unless someone just told you, or you found it in a blog post, or you heard it from a writer, or anything like that. Which,
Or somebody lies about it on the internet.
yeah,
Goes nowhere, does nothing.
goes nowhere, does
Yeah.
nothing, right? So I mean, like so when you know too much, does that influence what you watch that comes out next, and can you even enjoy it? Because you expect all these other things that weren't really there or part of what you see on television to be in your head, as we often say, headcanon, right? And that influences what because they were talking about, Star Trek JJ-verse just coming out within like a few weeks after before they put that podcast out. So it's kind of an interesting reflection point. So go back and listen to that if you want to. You know, that's an old one to go listen to, numbered 28, I believe it was. Maybe it was 23. I don't know. Somewhere in the 20s. You'll see it. It's called Do We Know Too Much? So, good episode. Good episode.
That would be a funny concept, though, for if we do some like premium content where we just review old Trekcast.
Well, that's like I said the other day. Like, let's do a clip show, right? As in, like, we were on strike,
Yeah.
and we just put together a bunch of clips from an old show, bunch of old shows, and just put them together, string them together, and that's it. That's that would take too much time. But
See, I'd have more concerns like, what are we striking for? What are our goals? How are we
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
oh man, that's funny.
Well, I've got some news.
Okay, let's get into the news.
Yeah.
Attention all hands, it's time for Star Trek news.
So there's not a lot of Star Trek news, so I've got a couple of stories, but I've got some other ones too for fun. So let's start first with from the heavy, and a fan has decided to take it upon himself to fix Mr. Data's de-aging in Picard. And so this fan from Germany, what is his name? Let's see. It's Schmidt. What is his first? Sebastian Schmidt.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian. The Winter Soldier was very upset about this, and he just said that Data didn't look right in Picard.
Nope.
He just felt it was off, and so with a lot of time in Adobe After Effects, he fixed it,
Yep.
and it looks pretty good.
Yep.
And it's very surprising that this guy who, admittedly did not know After Effects very well ahead of time, fixed it.
Yeah.
So you would think professionals could do better. But
Well, they didn't take the time.
Wow.
That's all. They
Yeah.
just didn't take
Yeah.
the time. Everything's time and money,
Yeah.
right? Everything comes down to that.
Right.
So they could have done it. They just
Yeah.
that was something they decided not to spend time on. Which,
Didn't somebody do the same thing with Luke Skywalker
yeah.
in The Mandalorian? Yeah.
yeah.
They do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Fans do this. Yeah.
It's almost at the level of push button at this point with certain pieces of software, as far as the AI back, whatever the software is doing in the background, without you having to do too much manual manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
Yeah. He says
It's mostly cleanup afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what he did. He
Yep.
started with the deep fake that kind of got him in the ballpark, and then from there, tidied it up and made it look better.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's cool.
Yep.
I'm
Our
waiting
next-
for somebody to do that with us. Take an episode of Trekcast and
Did you age us?
make me pretty.
There you go.
I want Chad's hair. If anybody can do that, give me Chad's hair.
Put my hair on your head.
Yep.
I did one of
That's
those face app things when that was first coming out. You know, where it would, what you would look like when you're old or what you'd look like when you're young. And the old one, man, I hope I don't look like that when I'm old. But the young one, boy, that was a spitting image of a photograph of me when I was like 14. I mean, it was unbelievable.
wow.
It took the beard off and everything. It was pretty good. I was surprised.
My
I did
buddy
the one-
does.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say my buddy does a bunch of these. He puts one up, but he always makes himself a chick.
Oh,
And
I think your buddy's trying to say something.
Yeah.
and well, here's the thing. It's creepy because I know his sister.
Oh man.
And without saying too much,
Family resemblance?
there was a time when I kissed a sister. So seeing him like that, it's like
Oh man.
it's weird,
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
weird.
Was this a one-time act or an occasional occurrence?
I will exercise.
Ah,
my
there we
right
go.
Pleaded the
to-
fifth.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Upon the advice of counsel.
Space
Anyway.
Take a
Space
lot more
Force is
platinum
not
and,
wanting a
Romulan ale
Yeah.
to get the answer to that one.
no Space Force HR moments going on right here. That's what's going on. Yeah.
No.
No, we don't
No,
want that.
no.
We don't want that.
So
All right. Our next news story comes to us from the Great White North, Canada. And CTV, which is a Canadian channel, has announced that they are going to be the home for 2 new
Stargate.
Star Trek series. They'll be the home of
The joke behind that, for anyone who doesn't know, is Chad's been trying to get me to watch Stargate.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, have you ever watched it? And I said, I watched it. It looked too Canadian for me. And, certain television from the 90s, just like you could watch 5 minutes and you're just like, Canada.
Yep.
Yep.
This is filmed in Canada.
Welcome to Stargate, eh?
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, I love Canada. I have a great respect for the Canadian people.
There you
They're
go.
beautiful people. I love maple syrup. I love donuts. It's just fantastic.
Oh no.
Those guys with the hats and the pointy pants. They're great. They're wonderful.
Those red jackets. How can I get one of those red jackets and the hat? The funny hat? The mounted thing with the thing. Work on
I
that.
just want it during Shark Week. That's all. I just want it during Shark Week.
Oh jeez.
Shark
He
Week.
loves Shark Week. Like he watches.
Oh, really? I didn't know
he
that.
watches.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a thing. So anyway,
I was on vacation once during Shark Week. And I was just so torn because, here I am in another
Make
city.
it sound like a
on-
religious holiday. Oh, it was
Well,
Shark.
no, but here's the thing. It's like, I'm in the hotel. I wake up. It's perfectly air conditioned. Hey, it's Shark Week. And, I watch about 90 minutes of Shark Week. And I'm like, I should really, go out and do stuff. I'm on vacation. I should go see things. But,
Shark Week.
Shark Week. They're putting a dude in a cage underwater.
It's the most gimmicky TV.
yeah.
Anyways, so Canada.
Totally sidetracking the news
Canada
again.
starting this.
Yeah, how do we get from Canada
To sharks.
TV to yeah, anyway,
Well,
go ahead.
And this has nothing to do with sharks, so I don't know. but Canada.
It was Canada, Stargate, Trump, mounted police, sharks, Shark Week in a hotel. Back
There you
to
go.
Star Trek
Go.
in Canada. Go ahead.
Shark Week in a hotel is going to
I think we just found the title for today's episode. Shark Week in a hotel.
Shark Week in a hotel.
be.
Yep. I'm always surprised by those too. By the way, I can never guess what Daniel's going to pick for our show title. let alone the image. It's always just so freaking random. It's great. I love it.
So, anyways, CTV has announced that they are going to be the home, or in Canada at least, of Star Trek Prodigy and Strange New Worlds. Starting this year. So that tells us one of those two series at least starts this year.
Oh, Prodigy for sure.
I'm thinking it's going to be Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy is the Nickelodeon thing, right?
Yes, it is.
Correct. Yeah.
So why would it be on CTV?
Because in Canada they have the rights to it over there.
It's public. That's public television, basically.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon started as a Canadian company.
Oh boy.
If it isn't still. I mean, I watch a bit of Nickelodeon with the kids, and I listen.
I saw that TV with those action figures.
But my kids watch Paw Patrol, and I can catch the Canadian accent sometimes on some of the voice actors. Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer yet for the movie?
For the Paw Patrol movie?
Yeah.
No, my wife told me it's coming out, so I'm gonna get some popcorn or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave no dog behind. I don't know.
Is Baltar gonna watch it, or is he not into Paw Patrol?
He's more into James Bond, being from England. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now I've got some kind of goofy stories. First one's from the AP, and I don't know if you guys heard the news, but the Avengers campus is now open at California Adventures in Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah. So it's open. You can go hang out. They've got a Spider-Man ride there. They've got all sorts of cool like Avengers campus and all sorts of neat little activities. There's even a Doctor Strange magic show.
Geez.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's only in California, though, right?
Right now, I'm sure they'll have other ones eventually in other parks.
I'm wondering what they ever did with the rights issues, because years ago, Marvel sold before Marvel was Disney, they sold the rights to the theme park rights to the characters to Universal.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then Disney acquired Marvel. Right. And that was still in effect, and it was this weird situation where you have Universal Park and Disney parks. They're in the same cities. They're competing directly with each other, and Universal is advertising that they have Disney characters, i.e., Marvel characters at their parks. Right. And I had thought these like one of those in perpetuity agreements, like the Sony agreement. Like they can do it until they stop doing it for a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if Disney plunked down a big chunk of change to buy that back. I don't know.
About they got the rights, but it's the comic book versions, whereas the Disney ones can be the MCU versions.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that. But that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because then they don't get those exact designs. So. So I got two more news stories, so we'll go through these pretty quick. Sure. Next one is from Deadline, and I don't know how much you guys like John Wick, but John Wick 4 is casting, and they brought in Donnie Yen. The Force is with me. I am one with the Force.
Oh, that guy.
That guy? Yeah. So
never seen a John Wick film.
Really? They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They are. They're pretty good. Right. I mean, there's, they're shoot 'em up, blow 'em up action movies, guy movie kind of thing. I mean, there's really nothing.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But no, it's pretty good.
And he likes dogs or something?
He has a dog.
The first one, he really likes dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
I've seen the memes, just not the movie.
Yeah. In our last news story, I got this one especially for Dan because I thought he would like it. I'm sure you know about this. On June 8th, do you know what June 8th is?
June 8th is a little over 1 week into June. And
right.
I have no idea.
It's 2 days from today. Today is Sunday.
June 8th
It's
is
on
today.
Tuesday.
What's going on? What's going on June 8th?
That is the official Ghostbusters Day.
How is June 8th Ghostbusters Day?
I don't know, but it has been for a few years now.
That's
Apparently,
weird.
Really?
What for?
Yeah.
What is there something in
I
the
have no
movies
idea.
that I missed as far as June 8th, like when the whole thing happens?
I'm wondering if this is when like the first movie came out,
Oh.
like back in the
No,
80s.
probably.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
probably it.
Yeah. But anyways, so on Twitter, they're gonna be hosting. IGN is gonna be hosting Ghostbuster Day events. So they're gonna have conversations with the cast and filmmakers of Ghostbusters Afterlife. So
Okay.
maybe
Cool.
we'll get a new trailer. I don't know.
Mm.
You know, it is kind of around the corner now.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll fix the release date. Ooh, did I
Yeah,
say that out loud?
Yeah. Well, it's still slated for November 11th. So
Which is just dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Kind of seems.
It's a summer film. It's a ghost film, and you're having it come out, a couple weeks after Halloween. That makes no sense.
It
No
needs to be, like,
sense.
mid or late September.
Anytime in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime in the summer, so that they can do the home release just before Halloween. Get the costuming revenue, get the Halloween bump. I don't know, just doesn't make sense.
Well, a lot of studios are now shortening their release windows from theater to home, and it's now only like 45 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's all my news.
Okay. That means we're getting into feedback.
Yeah.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Hey Cujo, I'm still waiting for your coffee account donation so that you can make me sing whatever the hell it was we were talking about on Discord the other day, buddy. So we got over on the coffee account, Scott Strongbeard Bouders 3 days ago says, and I'm going to do this in what I think is Scott's voice, by the way. I would love to guest host.
Because that always goes over
It does.
well.
It goes over great. I would love to guest host if you're ever missing a man. I'm sure that never happens, though. A bunch of emojis. I don't know what those emojis are. Okay. I'm just kidding, Scott. You probably have a deep voice. Daryl, 5 hours ago, Trekcast business cards. I think it's a good idea. It's old school. Well, I'm rewatching BSG series for the 8th time. Makes me appreciate life more. Be grateful in spite of your suffering seems to be the tagline for a BSG series, as well as every Miles O'Brien episode. So, yeah, appreciate those donations, guys. Keep those coming. It's over on the coffee account, KO-FI space Trekcast. You put that into Google, it'll come up, and there you go. All those funds are going to go towards STLV 2021 coming up here in a couple of months. Mm-hmm. So we're very much looking forward to that. And I keep ping-ponging back and forth over drive versus fly. I'd already made it in my mind. I'd already just had it visually in my head, 22 hours, 2 days, drive, whatever. I meet some people, stop and see some people along the way. And now I'm like, fuck, I should just fly. That's so much time.
Why don't we make a vote in the group and let people decide?
It's about this. It's actually more money to drive than it is to fly. The flight to Vegas one way is like $150. Well, that's like one hotel night. I mean, let alone the gas, So it's. Then the question will be, if I do fly, how the hell do I pack all this stuff up safely and get it there? Right?
I say that if you drive, we're going to need to pin a note to you with like your contact information in case you get lost.
I'll just stick it on my forehead. If this person is lost, call Dan and Daniel.
Right.
Call State Highway Patrol. I won't get lost. I know the way. But anyway, all right. There's the feedback over on that end of it. Emails wise, I still have this email sitting here. I have not opened it from Joel about our chess matches. I am like.
I'm sorry. What?
Chest matches. Yeah. No.
I thought you said massages.
Yeah, there you go. No,
chest massages.
No,
Yes.
It's
like
I'm
that.
sure I'm stroking his ego by losing to him 9 out of 10 times. But but anyway, no, Joel, I will get started on another a match here as soon as I'm on the road tomorrow because I'll have some time at night or whatever to make my moves, or in the mornings to make my moves. Right now I can't. So, but we'll make another match. That's all I've got on that end of it. No other emails. Nothing even off of Chartable, which means we're probably not in the top 200 anywhere right now.
Oh no!
So not even in Slovakia.
Well, we mentioned Germany and Canada in the news,
There
so
you
maybe
go.
that'll.
Yeah. Well, we need to make another, sexy title headline again.
Maybe that'll be the name of the show. Sexy title
There you
headline.
go. Sexy title headline. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got on the feedback side,
We'll see.
Daniel-san?
Yeah, so I posted in the group that we were talking. I also posted the question, potato chips and sandwiches, love it or leave it? Surprisingly divided in the group. Yeah, I would say more towards loving it, but not by much.
Yeah. It was close. It was close.
Yeah. And then some people are saying, putting it in a pita or in a hamburger or in a burrito.
Oh, boy.
And putting fries in there? Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah, and then I got a little gripe to make with Paris Vaughn. I'm going to pull this up so I can read it. Studying for today's show. Oh, I like that. I didn't get to see that picture yet over there on the group. Nice.
Yeah.
Get back to groups. I don't even remember how to use the web interface for this.
Are you going to go with her question?
Her question? Yeah, that one. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Who would win in an ambo jiu-jitsu sparring match? Because I cannot talk
I obviously
today.
would because I can pronounce it, but
Yeah. Dan, Daniel, or Chad?
well, how would you even ask the question? Of course I'm gonna win. What the hell?
Look,
What was my response to Chad?
I didn't see it yet. You had a response?
it just says that's cute, Chad.
Is there some place in Vegas where we can go where we can do those big sumo suits and fight each other?
Probably.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that and film it.
Look, man, at 5'5", I clearly have the reach advantage.
Why don't we just go down to Fremont Street? Just fight each other in an alley somewhere.
What do we need to pay? What do we need to pay somebody for sumo suits for? Let's just go down the alley. Put up your dudes.
What is this? What are you doing? What is the voice you're doing?
It just came across me.
Well,
So you want to go to Vegas? You want to go to Vegas? The men slapping meat? That's what you want?
No kink shaming, Daniel. No kink shaming.
Hey.
Dan's like, what the hell have I got myself into?
All right. If we're doing this, we need American Gladiator style names, and what are our names going to be?
Oh, that's great. See, that would be fun, right? I mean, seriously, get a bunch of listeners to all go there at the same time and do the sumo suits or the gladiator, whatever those things are, the big padded things over your head and the boxing gloves and a big stick with pad on, a big Q-tip. Just beat the shit out of each other.
I'm gonna monkey roll like that one guy in Bloodsport.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You gonna make the noises while you do it?
Probably. I mean, if you're gonna do it right, right? Yeah, exactly. I'll dress in a monkey suit. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, Dan, you think you would win out of all of us?
I know I would.
Oh yes.
Oh shit.
That's his Buzz Lightyear training.
No hesitation there.
I mean, that's. Look at that total
Probably
confidence
right.
while he's wearing women's sunglasses. It's a thing of beauty, ladies and gentlemen.
Whatever, man.
Do you need me to call your mom?
I'm just fucking around, having fun. It's all good.
I
It's
know.
all good.
I know. And I'm just speaking the truth.
You do you, man. You speak your truth.
I feel as though I'm speaking my personal truth. And
Okie dokie.
I mean, after the match, I'll have avocado toast for everybody.
God,
And what is that drip?
Have
We'll
you
have a
ever had
coffee
it?
drip.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have a
I
coffee
hate it.
drip.
I just avocado. Just
Really?
What about guacamole?
I don't like
though?
it. No.
None of it, huh?
No, it's like wet spackling compound in your mouth.
If you don't season it right, it can be.
Yeah,
it's not the taste. It's
I
the
can see
texture.
that. I can see that.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
That's how I am with
Ooh,
tomatoes.
I like tomatoes.
No.
It's like wet mashed potatoes, and I love mashed potatoes, but it's like wet.
Yeah,
cold
if they're too wet, they're ruined.
Mashed potatoes.
They kind of have to be a little dry and tacky, like spackle. Okay.
Are you guys picky eaters?
Big what?
You picky eaters? No.
I will try, and I tell my wife this all the time. I will try anything twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try it once. If I don't like it, I'll try it again, because maybe the first guy didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Right.
Prepared it. But I'll try anything twice. But if I try it twice and I don't like it, that's just the way it is. Don't push it
There's
on
only
me.
a couple of things that I will just flat out, I don't care where I am, I'll say no to eating. One of those is catfish. So, I mean, it's just nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Rocky Mountain oysters?
Trip Tucker's rolling in his grave right now.
That's just the one thing. Spike.
You mean Spike?
Spike? What?
Oh,
you didn't listen to the last episode.
Caught.
Boom.
That's okay.
Sorry.
In the last episode, we learned original nickname was Spike.
Yep.
And then they changed it.
Yeah.
That was probably a good move.
That was a great move, yeah. Again, this goes into the do we know too much category.
Well, we know he steals booze.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, are we done with the feedback section?
Yeah, we're
moving on into the topic.
Yeah.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
And that sounds every bit as good right now as it did in 2009. It does. It just does.
Yeah,
so
it does.
There's no need to change that.
Nope.
We talk about doing a different intro every once in a while, or maybe getting something different, other than...
Well, let's not keep these assholes waiting.
Trekcast.
And then, of course, the one that Daniel did in 2018, which I love, and I've got on here,
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes long.
No, it's fine. See, I don't mind it. We had some listeners say that we had probably 2 people say it was too long, and then we were like, but...
yeah, then I cried for a week.
All that work and effort, and we don't use it. No, we should use it. I'll use it more. I'll make sure I put that in the bumper roll for next couple weeks. But anyway, okay, moving on to the topic. So we didn't know what we were going to talk about.
We never said what it was.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were going to talk about this week until about 48 hours ago, and I was driving in the truck with my daughter. It was on Friday night, I believe, and we were like, "What's the topic?" And I looked at my daughter and I said, "Pick a number," and she said 4. Okay, I said, "Okay, it's season 4 of TNG. Pick another number." She said 14, and I said, "Okay, it's episode 14 of season 4." And I text that to you guys. Almost like it was a Bible verse. Star
right,
Trek,
that's
The
what I
Next
said.
Generation, Season 4, Episode 14. That was it. And the funny thing that turns out is they're like, well, which one's that? And they're like, I have no clue. The title of the episode is Clues. So, I mean, it was just meant to be. So that's what our topic is. We're reviewing the episode Clues from Season 4, TNG, Episode 14. And if you look at the episodes that came before this, like in that season, that's the finishing up of the Best of Both Worlds. That's a whole bunch of stuff happened in season 4, really, and this one feels like it's just out of the blue compared to everything else that happens in that season. So, and
the one right after it is a good one.
It is
too. Season 4, episode 15 is First Contact. That's the one where Riker is down on the planet and gets injured and gets found and gets taken to the hospital, and they realize he's an alien, and it was great because it was just a total flip-flop where we're the aliens.
Yep, it was good.
It was E.T., but in reverse.
Kind of, yeah.
Backwards, however you want to say it.
So anyway.
So Clues. Somebody want to give a synopsis of the episode?
I can pull it up.
Basic synopsis.
I can pull it up real quick. I didn't have it pulled up because I didn't realize that was my job, but it is my job. Sorry.
Come on, man. I'm busy over here chasing dogs and answering
Oh,
phone
that
calls.
means
I
you
don't
didn't hear what we said about him on the last episode.
He's
I
going to go
just
back and
realized
listen
that.
to this now, yeah.
Now he's going to.
Yep. So the basic
Okay.
plot is the Enterprise investigates a Tari-class star system with a single Class M planet that was picked up on a long-range sensor scan near the in-game nebula. That doesn't sound right, but that's what it says in the synopsis. As they approach the planet, the ship encounters a wormhole, and everyone except Lieutenant Commander Data briefly loses consciousness. When the crew regains consciousness, none of the ship's sensors suggest it has been nearly a day since the wormhole encounter, but Data states that they were only out for a few moments, as in 30 seconds. And there's some inconsistencies that happens with Data that he tries like hell to explain away, and finally they pick up on there's something not right here. So little clues are left that things aren't quite right. It's a great episode from the standpoint of who do you trust? Is Data really trustworthy? Because it's one of those odd episodes where Data's flat out lying. And he's able to lie, apparently, right? I mean, and he's able to deceive and hide. And he does a
He's
shitty
never
job.
good
He
at
does a
it,
shitty
though.
job at it too. So,
Yeah.
Well, I
still
mean, he's
new.
a robot. He
Yeah.
doesn't know human emotions and distrust
Right.
and things like that. You know, we've seen him on the holodeck. He's not a great actor, so
Data isn't right. Yeah.
yeah. But I thought the opening sequence was good, where they put Picard on the holodeck with Guinan, and just take a minute to remind everyone that he reads detective novels. So the idea of a mystery, is not foreign to him. Investigating a mystery and enjoying investigating a mystery and looking for clues and the investigative process. So, plus, I mean, seeing goofy Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan trying to exist in the 1940s.
Which
It's
she
pretty
was
funny.
apparently alive in the 1940s, right? So think about that,
Yeah, that too. As I was watching this, this seems foreign to her. I mean, I guess you could explain that away that at this point in time, Picard doesn't know that she existed in the 1850s on Earth.
Right.
So she's kind of playing it off that she doesn't understand Earth culture at all.
And,
but
and her accent's not
whatever.
great either.
I'm Gloria from Cleveland.
Maybe she was off Earth by then. She was there earlier. So
Could be, but at the same time, knowing her entire background now, that the only way that scene fits is if she's just pretending not to know, because she should know. Despite the fact that she wasn't there at that specific timeline, she would still have an understanding of, for everywhere she's been, over time, everywhere she's gone. Sometimes the way she acts is she acts naive and doesn't understand things or doesn't get it. But yet she is so learned and cultured with her real background. Again, we know too much, but it doesn't fit unless it's an act, unless it's her just pretending not to, just go along with everybody else.
Yeah,
because really
and it also makes sense. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, really, she's just playing a part. She's literally playing a part of a part on the Enterprise. She's just there to play the I don't know anything bartender, and I like to listen to everybody. Right? She's a listener. That's her. That's who she is.
And it does fit because she is a listener. She's from a race of listeners. And they listen so much that perhaps they don't always share everything about themselves. Right. They share just enough to help the person that they're listening to at that time. Because if you think about it, it also wouldn't make sense that, the Federation has no knowledge of the Borg until, what was it, season 3 of TNG. Yeah. But we also learned that, her planet was destroyed by the Borg. And that's why they're scattered all over the place. Mm-hmm. And they're refugees back in the 23rd century, because they, in the beginning of Generations, they mentioned that it's a ship of Elorian refugees. Well, what are they refugees from? They're refugees because their world was destroyed, but they haven't shared. They haven't shared who destroyed their world and why and what the circumstances were.
Yep.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense, I guess, if you think about
bit.
it. If you think about it in that way.
Yeah, a little bit.
And yes, we know too much.
So, according to the there is a very similar episode of Red Dwarf to this episode.
Yeah.
And that episode was called Thanks for the Memory.
What is Red Dwarf?
What? Oh.
It's a British
It's a British show. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why.
Yeah. Well, here's a couple of funny things too about this episode, right? So I would never have thought any of this, but Wired magazine in 2012 said it was one of the best episodes of TNG. I don't know about that. 2016, Vox called it in the top 25 essential episodes of all Star Trek. I also don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
And then in 2017, this is different now, right? Because it's 21, so it's been 4 years. But Netflix said that Cules was among the top 10 most rewatched Star Trek episodes on their service.
You know, it's not one of the best episodes. It is a good episode. I have some issues with it, particularly the ending. But it is a good episode, and I think it ends up on those lists for one reason and one reason only. Data is the standout character in this series. He is the most popular character in the series. And this is essentially one of the Data saves the whole ship episodes.
Yeah.
And those are popular.
Right.
Those are popular. Yeah, I mean, this was a fun episode, and it kind of got me nostalgic watching it, because I remember when this episode came out, and I remember watching this and thinking, "What's going on? Why is Data lying to everyone? Is he controlled? Is that Lore? How did Lore get on the? You know, these are all the things that are going through my head, and I also picked up on some stuff that I didn't see the previous times that I've watched this, but there's a scene early in the episode where just someone comes off the turbo lift and they're walking behind Tactical, and you see Worf, and he's just doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just such a small thing.
It's subtle. Yeah.
It's so subtle. And later on you find out that, Deanna bitch slapped him across the bridge and broke his wrist.
Right.
Deanna don't play.
But, yeah, Deanna don't play. You know what else? You know what else I liked? It reminded me how much this was just a perfect show, and I don't mean every episode was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I just mean that this was just such a great show, and such a great show for its time, and has done so much SJW type stuff without virtue signaling to the world. Look at all the good we're doing. And something that I picked up on is Geordi is the smartest person on that ship.
Yeah.
He really is the smartest person on that ship. And no one ever said, we're going to make the black guy the smartest guy on the ship because we want to, engage in social justice. It's just Geordi's the smartest guy on the ship, and no one ever gave a thought to his race. Yeah. And, I wish they would just do more of that nowadays, instead of just, beating it over everyone's head that we're trying to show how good we are by doing this or by doing that. There's that scene where Data comes up with some bullshit about whatever. And and he cites
theory, yeah.
Yep, and he cites some obscure paper, and Geordi was like, "Yeah, he wasn't talking about that. I read that paper, computer man. I read that paper too, and you're wrong. He was talking about this. He wasn't talking about that." And then Picard sends Data out of the room, and who does he turn to? To
Geordi.
To ask if it's plausible. He turns to Geordi and says, "Is it possible?" And he's like, "Nah, that robot man's full of shit.
Yep.
My brain's better than his."
See, and that makes me wonder, were they if it wasn't, I don't think it was like virtual signaling or anything like that. But were they playing to LeVar Burton's already known public perception because of reading Rainbow, like as already big reader and all that, and so they played into that type.
I think it was just that Scotty was when it came to technical things, not necessarily stellar objects and
Right.
stuff like that, but when it came to the workings of the ship, Scotty was the smartest guy on that ship.
Yeah, he knew.
And he knew, and it wasn't because he was white, it wasn't because he was a man, it wasn't because he was Scottish, it's just because he was Scotty, and Scotty's a smart guy. And it's the same thing with Geordi. Geordi is the smartest guy on the ship when it comes to engineering and when it comes to just physics and things like that.
But not with dating.
What's that?
He wasn't very smart when it came to dating.
No,
everybody has to have a flaw.
But
that's true.
But my point is, it wasn't because he was male or female or this race or that race. It was just, hey, this is the guy who's the engineer, and we're going to have him be the smartest guy on the ship, and he just happens to be African American.
I think the difference that you're pointing out is they probably had some of that in mind when they decided to cast LeVar Burton, especially with LeVar Burton's acting background, right? But they didn't on the front end in the show rub it in everybody's face, announce it, say this is why.
That's exactly that's what I'm saying.
And
show people the path. Don't tell them what path to go down. I go back to one
of the greatest interviews of all time. It's probably in the top 5 interviews, and it's Morgan Freeman with what's his name? Not Charlie Rose, but guy from 60 Minutes anyway. And the guy goes, well, what do you think we should do to stop racism? And Morgan Freeman goes, stop talking about it. Just stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want it's a great interview, and that's where, and I think that's what is separating a lot of what's come before in Star Trek versus what's coming now. Was the show don't tell kind of thing. They're doing that with all of the culture and political stuff. They're doing that with the writing. They're doing that with their character development. They're trying to tell us everything instead of just show us, right?
Yeah, but I also think too, back then when the original show was going, you really couldn't come out and say these things because it was such a different environment.
Culture then. You're absolutely correct. It was a very different culture.
The Civil Rights Amendment had just passed, right? There were still areas with separate water fountains.
What?
So, because it aired, in 66, 67 originally?
Oh, the original Trek. I'm talking about TNG.
The original Trek. Yeah. So Roddenberry couldn't come out and be like, hey, we're going to put a horror on the ship and,
Well, yeah, but the original Trek did this. The original Trek did the same thing. They showed and didn't tell, right?
Yeah.
So it's so the same thing happened in TNG, right? Even at the time when the culture was vastly different between the 60s and the 90s, right? So, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't want anything to have this show not tell mentality. I don't want anything to have the other, or I don't want anybody to talk about the SJW. I don't want anybody to talk about what their feelings are and all that. I'm not saying any of that at all. If you want to talk about your feelings and you want to talk about, politics or your culture or whatever else, go ahead. That's fine. All I'm saying is when it comes to Trek, a series that I love to pick apart, I love to talk about and discuss, just like you guys do and everybody else listening to the show, I wish there was a little bit more of a balance like there used to be. It's great to have all these firsts. It's great to have a transgender person on the show. That's fine. I'm all for diversity, right? That's part of what I love about Trek. But that diversity also comes with a balance, right? And it's the character development that's a little bit of a problem. It's the telling constantly instead of just showing us, right? If we're going to get to this future someday where there's no racism, where there's no, bigotry, where there's no homophobia, there's no all these things that we all talk about we want to get rid of, then why would we be talking about them? Why would we be making it a big deal, right? Why, if it's a big deal 100 years from now, then we haven't gotten rid of it yet. If we're having to talk about it 100 years from now, we haven't gotten rid of it, right? So in terms of the problem or whatever the perceived problem is, because I think there's a difference between their actual problem and their perceived problem. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Now we get off of political cast.
Well, no, but what I was saying is we're in a different spot now where you can talk about it.
True.
And I think that that's also an evolution that should be applauded and should be mentioned. And it's cool that that's happening. I think then we'll evolve even more, and then it's more of what you're saying, and it doesn't have to be brought out all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. It's just a progression.
Everything's a progression. Yeah, everything is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's part of how we get better. That's part of how things. That's part of what the melting pot of America is, right? So everybody's ideas mixing, everybody's thoughts mixing, everybody's cultures mixing. That's what makes America so great.
Dan froze.
Did Dan freeze?
Oh, it's freezing.
His
again.
video keeps coming and going on my end, but his audio has always been good. So
ever since Mom called. Can you hear us, Dan?
I can hear you guys. Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you now. Yeah, it's a little muffled, but
all right.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you what.
It's like you're on a walk.
Video.
Yeah. And every once in a while, it's like the worst it's ever been on my end inside of OBS, where everybody's sizes of their windows from Skype just keeps changing, getting bigger, smaller, moving around. It's like I'm not even doing anything, but it's just moving around on its own. So I don't know. I bet you my Skype version's different than your Skype versions, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's almost 12. Mom's going to call again.
Okay.
So to recap, Clues, excellent episode.
So we can get her final thoughts. Clues when she calls.
Right.
So my only issue with this episode, I think it's a little far-fetched that Picard would willingly say, well, put us all to sleep and erase our memories. I don't think he would do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit with what a Starfleet officer would do. I think he would probably try to backdoor this situation somehow. Have Data. I don't know. I just feel like they would do more to retain their memory of the situation, if just for the point of warning the rest of the Federation to avoid this sector of space, because there's these potentially hostile aliens here. I mean, they were ready to destroy the ship and kill everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only issue, I think.
So what you're saying is they would have pulled a Ash Tyler in Discovery and just told everybody, no, we're not going to talk about it, and everybody's going to forget about it from here on out.
Well, that's how you handle secrets.
You give them to Ash Tyler.
I guess. Well, I mean, they had back in TOS, they had the I can't remember what it was, but they had that order, don't approach the Telosian planet, and it's punishable by death.
What was that?
And all of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the order, but it was basically the thing they put in place to make it such a big deal that
wasn't
Spock was.
Yeah.
What's
that was Order 66, right?
When they kill all the Jedi.
Oh, okay. I get them confused.
That's pretty good.
It's funny because that's what I wanted to say. I'm like, is it Order 66?
Order 66?
No.
66. So it's...
Wipe them out.
It's
all of them.
It's Talos 4, isn't it? Am I getting that? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Talos 4. It was the Telosians.
Yeah. General Order 7.
General Order 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
General Order 7.
Which makes me laugh because that implies that there's only been 6 other General Orders in the whole history of Starfleet. Unless they recycle the order numbers.
Yeah, they started with A.
If only they put the word "so" in there, and then it Order 7.
Or General Tao's Order number 7.
Yeah. That is a tasty treat, man. I love that
It
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
I dig it.
So we're gonna have Chinese in Vegas. Is that what we're saying?
That's
I
cool.
would not be against that.
No, I'm good.
That's cool.
I'm good with that.
And then an hour later, we'll have it again.
Yeah. Oh man, am I gonna have to bring some Pepto on this trip?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Probably. I don't know. What do you guys think of this episode? Final thoughts.
I think it's a good episode. It's enjoyable. My daughter watched it
feel
with
like
me, and she hasn't even
was
watched
good
all of
as well.
TNG yet. You know, so and I think she's only watched like the first 2 seasons. But you know, she was able to. She knew all the characters and could pick it up and knew what was going on. So she found it enjoyable. So it's a good episode.
I thought it was good, but I have been obsessed with the new show lately, so it was very distracting for me to watch this thing.
What was your new show?
I know I'm late to the party, but I am loving Kim's Convenience.
Kim's
Never heard of
Convenience. What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's a Canadian show.
Is it about a Korean grocery store? Like
Yeah.
little...
Yeah,
It is? Oh my gosh.
it really is.
Oh man.
Nailed it. It's hilarious. And it's got the guy who's going to be Shang-Chi in the new Marvel movie. He's in it too. So
I don't know. I have no time to. I started watching BSG again. I watched the first half of the first 2-parter and watched that with my wife because she's never watched it and she was very interested in it. And that was a week and a half ago. And neither one of us has watched any television since then until I watched Cules last night and the latest release of My Hero Academia with my daughter. So because that's a show we love.
would love Convenience.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
No, I'll put it in my list of 5 million things I'll never watch, but I'll try.
Did you like the Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of that style of show.
Ah,
Goofy and silly and fun.
okay.
So,
Well, I'll tell the wife about it. Maybe it's something we'll try to watch.
It's something she would probably like.
Yeah.
I don't even know her, and I'm saying this. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
So is that it for the review of
That's
Clues?
it, because Mom's going to call soon.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mom's going to call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. This was Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Be sure to follow us over on YouTube at Trekcast or on the Instagrams at TrekcastTNG. Same thing with Twitter. And, of course, you can always email us at trekcasttng@gmail.com or at chadiswrong@gmail.com. Tell me how wrong I am this week. I can't wait for the woke emails.
Oh, we got to say thank you to Paris for sending that shirt design.
Yes, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, we are going to make those shirts, Paris Vaughn. Those are freaking fantastic.
Those are cool.
Those are great. So I love it.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to make those and wear them at STLB. Yeah. I'll wear mine.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Excellent.
Is that it, ladies and gentlemen? With that,
that's it.
We are out. We'll see you guys next week or whatever.
Okay, see you.
that's we have a horrible way of rapping, don't we?
I still remember our first episode where one of us asked, so how do we end this? And Daniel says, I think we just say it's the end. And then the music starts.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it works.
It does. It works, right? So.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews. Subscribe to us. We'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, see you.